And it's how we're rocking this Wednesday morning. It is the 12th of April, 2023, and you are listening to The Fatboy Show. Now, today is a very interesting day. Did you know that today is the International Day of Pink? Oh, yeah. This day uses the color pink to raise awareness and to fight against bullying and discrimination and all those kind of things, including apparently homophobia and transphobia across the world. Now, I've never quite understood this thing called a phobia because the way the word is used leads me to be very confused. Look, phobia means fear of something, right? So if I fear something, then how is that the same as being angry towards it or being hostile or negative? Unless the assumption is that I can only be hostile or negative towards something if I am in some way scared of it. Well, I'm not sure that that's a perfect correlation. Perhaps a more precise usage of the English language is called for here. But nonetheless, I can get behind the notion of, not bullying people and treating people with dignity. But to the LGBT activists, I would like to say this. How about you also practice that? Because you are some of the worst bullies. Should anyone dare say that a woman is a biological woman, my goodness, the hatred that will be lobbed at this woman will be palpable. I saw a story of a swimmer who lost her top spot to a gentleman called something. What's his name? I forget his name. But basically, he's someone who was until recently identifying as a dude and is still a dude and now transitioned and not even fully transitioned. This dude still has you know what? He's carrying his junk in his pants. And yet he identifies as female, competes in female competitive swimming, and won the top spot in a recent race. Now his runner-up, who apparently lost to him in microseconds in that race, feels like she was robbed of the title because she should have won. She was being made to compete with a man after all. And then she said, to add insult to injury, they went into the dressing room after the competition, and this dude is there dressing up with all the ladies present. And, like I mentioned, he's still packing his junk. So all his male machinery was dangling all over and traumatizing the women in the dressing room. And they felt very violated. Where's the justice in that? So if we're going to talk about not bullying people, how about we don't bully women who want to be respected and acknowledged and treated as the women that they are, to the exclusion of people who they think are actually very much men? It's a complicated issue. Hey, Sarah, how you doing today?
I'm good, Fatboy, but not all LGBTQ plus activists are what's the word? What's the word? Toxic? What's the word? Extremists? What's the word? I'm looking for a word.
Radical.
Radical, yes. Not all of them are radical.
Many of them are. Far too many are.
No, the loudest ones.
But those are the ones that deal the most damage. Those are the ones who get you cancelled on social media. Those are the ones who call up your employers to get you fired, who call up your sponsors to get you to lose business opportunities. Not so much here, but in the West, it's a big thing.
But what I'm saying is that the loudest ones do not represent all the others who are actually backing and just want to have spaces where they can be also included, and not want to take over the spaces that have already been created. Do you understand what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but
I think when we are calling out these people, let us call them out by name. The ones who are just being loud and extremists and radical.
But not just that. I do think that even members of movements need to check their own radicals. Because regardless of your ideology, it can be a political party, it could be a religion. There will always be some wacky people who just want to give you a bad name.
Yes.
I feel like you also have some responsibility to hold them accountable, or else they are going to be your representatives. Like if you say nothing about it, they are going to be your representatives. And so if there's maybe some guys committing suicide bombings, unless the moderates come out and say, we denounce this, we reject this, they're not part of us, it's going to lead people to assume that, okay, maybe you guys agree with these guys, right?
There's one comedian, she's a transgender comedian, she's called Flame Monroe, and she's actually very, very, very loud, and she's always speaking out against these radical ones. These radical transgender people and LGBTQ plus people. And also there are a number of people on TikTok as well who belong to the LGBTQ plus community. And they come out to call out those ones who are just, giving the rest of them a bad name.
Well,
so I think let us start to put that, as in use their names. Say, so and so, you are being ridiculous by taking up women's spaces or men's spaces.
But the problem,
going and addressing the children, don't do that. I think let's address them by the name.
The challenge is that the corporations and the institutions listen to the loudest voices.
Mm-hmm. So let us call those people out the loudest voices.
Social media has also made it worse, because let's say you are a company, or let's say a movie studio, and you release a movie that shows a female character in a certain way and a male character in a certain way. If enough activists cause you grief on Twitter, sometimes it's enough to make the studio backtrack or issue apologies. We've seen this happen in corporate campaigns, products, advertising, all kinds of things where activists, the small, loud minority of them that they are able to sway the decision-making process for major corporations, because they listen to the loudest ones.
Yes.
So if the loudest ones are able to get a trend going, and it might make it costly from a PR perspective for these companies to not just sort of, bend over and take it. And so they do. And so we've continued to see the culture shift more and more in the direction that the extremists want it to. And I feel like that's very sad.
No, I think, again, I stand with the point that we should call out these people by name. There's a gentleman called, or rather, they are non-binary.
There we go.
This person is called Jeffrey Marsh. I don't know if you've come across this person's TikToks. And there has been a whole overall collective togetherness to stop him from, what he's doing, because he's quite radical with the information he puts out on his TikToks, and he's always addressing children. So I have seen a number of activists across the spectrum, and not only just in the LGBTQ plus community, but, people on the left wing and the right wing. Everybody is coming together to stop this person from, pushing their propaganda. So let us call them out by their name, because if we don't and we just address them as a collective, then we are going to put this community of minorities and people who are just, just good people minding their own business and living their own lives at risk and danger at the expense of these people who are loud and radical. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying.
Let us call them by their
I hear what
name.
you're saying, and it's well-intentioned, but I think in practical terms, that's not what usually happens.
But that's the thing. We should start doing that so that we can stop other slogans like men are trash or women are gold diggers, or you get me? Do you understand what I mean?
Wait, aren't they gold diggers?
No, they are not.
Wait, that part is true.
Who has dug your gold, Fatboy?
My friend, should I start telling you
please,
stories?
You have no gold to dig. Please keep quiet. Go away.